Good morning, Renaissance Unity. Good morning. What do you say we start this morning with gratitude? Let's start it with gratitude. I am so grateful for each one of you here this morning, each one joining online. And I am so grateful that this morning we have with us Reverend Sandra Bishop. Would you just give her a warm welcome again? So let's just move into our hearts, into that place of gratitude. We are grateful. We're so grateful for Renaissance Unity. We're so grateful for this space where we can come and just continue our journeys of awakening in greater and greater ways to our oneness with each other, with God, and living here as the very presence and power of God. And so we open this space to that greater awakening. In the name of the living Christ we pray. Amen.
Use me, oh God, I'm here for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think God was the sun, God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth or the stars or all of creation. God is creator, all in all, needing us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Command my hands, what must they do? Command my life, it's here for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new, and God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me, God. God needs us to shine its light, and God needs us to shine its light. God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand with you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Good morning. I'm Jeannie Webster. I'll be the song leader today. And we have Roy King on drums, Ed Lemmers on bass, Donna Nowak on keyboards.
So good morning again. We just want you to know here that at Renaissance Unity, we are a practical, positive approach to spirituality, and that we just honor all paths to God, and we honor just wherever you are at on that path. You know, there's one thing that's unique about us here at Unity is that we have this first principle, and it's a principle where we see all the teachings at Unity, really all the teachings within all the religious traditions, come down to this one principle, and that's that there's only one. There's only one power and one presence in the universe and in our life, God the good. Are you here to support that? Do you believe that? Are you here to awaken to that in greater and greater ways? Then let's affirm it. Together, there is only one power in our lives and in the universe, God the good, omnipotence. Now let's sing that together. And so let us affirm together, we are a dynamic fellowship centered in the active spiritual practice of love, truth, gratitude, and service to others. Is there anyone who is here for the very first time? Would you just raise your hand? And we'd just like to give you a warm welcome. And we have a card here, and we have two here this morning. Okay. Anybody here for the second time? There we go. We got you this time. We are so grateful you're here this morning with us, and it's just our honor to be a part of your spiritual journey. And so we just open our hearts and our minds to each one of you. And if you have any questions, you can see me or you can see anyone who is up here on the platform. We just love to share more with you about Renaissance Unity and what we're here for. So if you're online or if you'd like to receive our newsletter, please enter your email address in the comments section if you are joining by Facebook, and if the chat section, if you're joining by YouTube, and we'll add you to our mailing list. So now let's just begin to move into where we affirm our mission statement. I think our mission statement is one of the most powerful mission statements in the Unity movement. How about you? Are you here to awaken in greater and greater ways to the consciousness of love and to be that presence? Then let's affirm it. Together, transforming lives through a consciousness of love. And now let's listen to our vision statement. Our vision is an inclusive world where minds, hearts, and hands are connected in raising the global consciousness of love. At this time, I'd like to invite our prayer chaplain, Mary Sherman, to come up and read our daily word, and then we'll move into some pre-meditation music, and then Reverend Sandra will lead us in meditation.
Good morning, everyone. Let us move our attention to the prayer box on the table by the Christ candle. We affirm that every request, we find its answer in perfect order. These prayers are sent to Unity Ministry each month, where they are then prayed over for 30 days. We are grateful, and we know that all is well. The daily word, it's about protection today. As I practice the presence of God, I feel secure. There is only one power and one presence in the universe and in my life. God, omnipotence, omniscience, and omnipresence is not only all around me, God is within me. As I take this truth into my heart, I feel calm and secure. The circumstances of the world have no lasting power over me. God is greater and more enduring than anything I may be called to face. I have within me the power to feel God's protecting presence at any time. As I pray, I affirm the strength and power of God are mine to call upon. I can use these divine powers to move beyond that which may scare or intimidate me. In renewed faith and deep security, I move bravely forward. The one who is in you is greater than the one who is in the world. 1 John 4:4.
Use me, oh God, I stand with you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do.
As we breathe in, just feeling our breath. Breathe. As we inhale. We don't even have to think if the air will be present. We don't have to think about it or worry about it. We don't even have to effort towards it. Even before you knew it, you were breathed. This breath of life in and through you. As you center yourself in this consciousness right here, right now, I invite you to focus in on your breath. Allowing it to connect you to all of life. Knowing that there is that just one power, one presence in all, through all, has all. So we breathe in this space. We let go of anything that has happened before we came into this space. All of our worries just fade into the darkness. Centering ourselves right here, right now. As we do so, we invite Spirit, we invite God to come into our awareness now. Show me what I must do. We are firmly planted in this space. Imagine yourself connected, knowing that just like a tree, you have roots that go down deep. Just like the wind that comes, you are firmly planted. As you breathe, we just embrace all that is. As we follow this thing called breath, there is nothing that can separate us. There is nothing opposing us. We let go of all that seems to be against us. As we recognize this one power moving through us, as us. We relax our bodies, we relax our head, feeling our scalp as it releases. The tension in your face just fades away. As you relax your ears, your neck, relax your tongue and your eyes. Let go of the burden that you've carried on your shoulders, the problems on your back. That which seems to have taken your breath away, we let it go. We relax our stomachs, our seated spaces, feeling our hips give way to the seat. As you relax your thighs and your knees and your legs, it's as if you're giving up resistance to that which you perceived as being against you. As you relax your feet, your hands, your arms, it's as if you've surrendered into this one presence that is God. You are always supported. You have never been left alone. That which is God moves through you, as you, here and now. God, correct our eyesight that we might see more clearly all the ways in which you show up in our lives. We thank you as you move in and through us, as us. We release anything that is unlike love. We let go of judgment. We let go of condemnation. God is the only encounter that we have. As we accept this experience, coming back into this space, we know that we are always able to just surrender into the presence and power of God. I thank you as the things that are opposing us just fall away. Fall away. We give thanks, God. Thy will be done. And so as we just return into this space in this here and now, we do so with thanksgiving. And so it is.
The things my family did. I'm not the voices in my head. I'm not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. 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 I'm not mistakes that I have made or any of the things that caused pain. I'm not the pieces of the dreams I left behind. No, I am light. 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 Yeah. I am light. I am light. I'm not the color of my eyes. I'm not the skin on the outside. I'm not my age. I'm not my race. My soul inside is all light. All light. All light. I'm all light. I am light. I am light. Oh, I am light. I am light. I am divinity defined. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a part of it all. I am light.
my goodness. Thank you. You are light.
We are.
Yes, yes, we all are light. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so I start off with two of my favorite songs by my favorite artists, N.D.I.R.E. and Ricky Byers-Beckwith. That is just amazing to me. And then I get to come in here and talk to you guys. And so, listen, a few minutes ago, I had to lean over and apologize to Reverend David. Thank you, right? Thank you. But I had to apologize to him because I told him, I said, I'm going to be all over the page today. And I get a little messy. Y'all know how I am. So, I know that you're going to roll with me. I get so excited, though. And so today I came in here and I wanted to talk about this idea of the messy middle. But it's also, it's planting season, y'all. And for me, this is such a rich time of the year because all of the things that I see are speaking to me on a constant basis. I don't know about you guys, but ooh. So I'm going to run a little bit over here and then run a little bit over there, and I'm going to just keep it going and see what Spirit has for us today, okay? All right. So first thing I wanted to talk about was this idea of, when I think about the messy middle, I think about this idea that Bayo Akafamole said about there being these cracks that exist. Cracks in the atmosphere, cracks in the earth, cracks in everything that we see. Because we have this idea that things are supposed to happen in a particular way. We get an idea in our head that, we go through and we go through as toddlers, and then we turn into, kids, and then adolescence, and then adulthood. And we've got all this stuff mapped out, and we think we know exactly how it's supposed to be. This comes after, we get into adulthood and we're supposed to get married and we're supposed to be happy and everything is we're raising the kids, we have the house, we do all the things and we've got it all mapped out. But wonder if you figure out that that's not the way it's done at all. If you're sitting there and if you ever think to yourself, Bob, is this it? Right? If you've ever gotten to that point where you're questioning life, that's the messy middle that we're supposed to be in. Can you imagine that the things that we resist are the very things that are supposed to happen to us? What you resist persists. And so when we start thinking about things showing up, they show up in this thing called a crossroads of our life because they're here by divine appointment. They are inviting us to a dance, so to speak. But because we think we've got everything all mapped out, the Bible says this, or school said that, or somebody else, I used to tell people all the time that these things called shoulds, you know how people should on you? They get us in trouble. We even think, I should do this, I should do that, I should. But here's the funny thing is, Jesus said this little thing. He said, unless a seed drops to the ground, it can't be born again. So here I am in my yard, and I get so excited about this time. Because for me, I don't know about you guys, but I eat my green beans, and if I'm eating a green bean and I think, ooh, I like this green bean, I take that seed, and I go outside and know that if I put that in the ground, it looks like a little bean, right? Those things sprout. They're the things that you see in the grocery store that you think that that's where they come from. Our kids think that that's where they come from. But they're right inside of the things that we're eating. When you scrape all that good stuff out of the middle of a cantaloupe, those are called seeds. Who knew? The things that we spit out of our watermelons, they're seeds. And so unless they fall to the ground, or unless we place them into the ground, they can't give us anything back. But you know what, you guys, when we fall to the ground, we think something is wrong. When life throws us a curve or an uppercut or something else, it knocks us on our butt, we're sitting there and we're cursing the experience because we think something is wrong. But unless it goes through the process, we can't see the beauty that comes out of it. We try to insulate ourselves from life happening. I don't know. But one of the things that I found so fascinating, let me give you a Bruce Lipton experience of this. Bruce Lipton is an amazing, do I want to call him a biologist, a spiritual teacher, a writer, all of these different things. And he started talking about looking at cells up under a microscope in a petri dish. And so he put these cells in there, and he was constantly watching how cells split and reproduce and do all these wonderful things. He's looking at the science of it. And he says one day he was, just kind of watching these cells as they mutated and changed and all this stuff. And he says he put a little poison into a petri dish, and all the cells went to the different side. It's like, oh no, we can't deal with this, right? And some of the cells, of course, they died, a few of them, right? But not all of them. And so he goes home for the weekend because he'd been watching and couldn't, it's like, okay. So he expected that when he came back on Monday, that the rest of the cells would have died off. But he found something very fascinating that happened. They adapted. The very thing that had been in there that the poison was killing off, there was an adaptation that was made. Can you imagine that now all of a sudden there is we can change, we can grow, we can be different than what we were before. But that would not have occurred had there not been some adversity that has been put there in order to trigger a different reaction. Did you know that when they make a vaccine for the virus, what they do is they inject you with the very virus that you are trying to prevent? You got that, right? So why do we always insulate ourselves against things happening in our life? If the very thing that we think is opposing us is there to grow us, why do we keep avoiding? Seriously, this is a serious question. The very thing that you are avoiding is the very thing that is there to strengthen you. But yet and still, we act like we're on a slippery slope. Oh no! Oh no! We're always afraid of what we don't know because it's unfamiliar. Not because it's there to harm us. And so I could see it now. It's like, can you see a seed telling me, don't put me under, don't cover me, don't do. It's that kind of thing that we're having this kind of experience. If it didn't know that, my goodness, when you plant me, one little squash seed that came out of my butternut squash now gives me 24 new ones. Did you know? We pay all this money for something that in itself contains the seed of its own greatness. And each and every one of you contain the seed of your own greatness. But you're avoiding it because you think something is wrong with the very natural process of this transformation. I don't know about y'all, but that's a moment right there for me. Because one of the things that I look at is I see a lot of times what we do is we try to follow somebody else's path. Joseph Campbell talked about this thing of the Knights of the Round Table and how they were supposed to go in search of the Holy Grail. And one of the things that he said is that when they set out in search of this Holy Grail, everybody could have gone the same path into the woods or into searching for the thing, but they knew that each path must be different. Each and every one of our paths must be different. Jesus did Jesus's walk already. He said, in the Course in Miracles, of course, but he said that you are free to get up on the cross as many times as you want to. He says, but that's been done. I've accomplished that. Pick up your cross and follow me. What does that look like? Right? Does it look like this state of being lost? But you know, if you don't get lost at some point, that you can't necessarily be found, if you're always thinking that you're on the right path, there's a problem in that. And so one of the things that we have to do is sometimes we've just got to set out on the journey to discovering who it is that we are and what we're supposed to do, and stop shooting on ourselves. Because the moment we think what we know what we should do, we cancel out so many other things that we could do. How many of you are following your bliss? How many of you think you know what it is? I'm still figuring it out, right? And sometimes that's the honest thing to say, that I'm still discovering it. And sometimes it's kind of like, so I got to tell y'all this. Yesterday, somebody actually made me some ice cream. With a real vanilla bean. Did you know I had never tasted something real? No, y'all, this is an experience for me. I'm not an ice cream person. But somebody made some ice cream with real vanilla bean. Oh, I was in ecstasy. I don't know about you, but it's like, oh my gosh, is this, it's like the scene out of The Matrix. Well, like, how do you know what ice cream is supposed to taste like? And now all of a sudden I tasted something that was not store-bought or manufactured here. I even love Honey Hut, y'all, but this was so amazing. So when I think about this thing of discovering new things and allowing myself new experiences, each and every one of us has the ability to discover something new and to have a new experience. And sometimes the very thing that we're seeking is not something that is outside of us, but it's already present within us. We have to allow ourselves to be brand new in the moment and experience something that we've never experienced before. Because unless we do that, we can't then turn around and multiply this. We will be, the walking dead is a real thing. We walk around with no light on. We walk around with no energy, with nothing in our hearts, because we haven't figured out what it is that we're here to do, because we're trying to do what somebody else has already done. Oh my gosh. And so when we begin to figure out that what I've done is been something that wasn't meant for me, but for another walk, somebody else has told me or showed me how I'm supposed to do it. And unless we allow ourselves to see something new, we'll be stuck doing, and we'll come to the end of our life without ever having lived our own life, because we're so busy thinking, this is what I've got to do. So one of the things that I am aware of is that, most of the time when we see ourselves in these particular situations, most of the time we're sitting there and we're having one of those moments. Y'all know I love to talk about, myths. there is and I can't think of the name of it, but y'all will forgive me for this. Two cities right next to each other. You know how it is. We've got cities right here. On one side of the street is one thing, on the other side of the street is something else. Shaker and Cleveland Heights, or, Warrensville butts right up against something else. We've got these two cities. And a lot of times, everybody may just get along in peace and harmony. But then all of a sudden, here comes and enters this thing called a trickster. The trickster is a motif or an entity that you see in a lot of different stories. It is there to kind of throw a monkey wrench into your plans. It's kind of like our lives are. Anyway, in this particular city, there is a trickster that right down the middle, one side he paints all white and the other side all black. Simple little thing, right? Nothing about that. But then he walks down the center in between the two cities. And one side sees the one side and the other side sees something else. Well, I saw the God of such and such walk down and it was all white. And then somebody else said, no. It was all black. We saw the same thing. It was all black. And they get into this argument, and now you've got this all-out battle in between who saw what and what was right. Well, without that particular battle, they might not have come into the fruition of what each is supposed to do. Sometimes we need to throw a monkey wrench into our own plans so that we can see what it is that we are supposed to do. You guys, as I think about this trickster motif, sometimes the trickster is there to upset the balance that you thought was already in place. Can you imagine in the Bible there was a donkey that talked? Who did you think made the donkey talk? Right? When God was talking to the devil, right? The devil in that particular instance might be the trickster. He says, have you considered Job? Right? We remember these stories where there is things that have been thrown into the mix to challenge things or to shake them up. When you look at the Wizard of Oz, Dorothy gets to the scarecrow and she asks, she's trying to figure out which direction should I go in. And remember, it was like, right? And so there are times in our lives where when we come to these crossroads, to the messy middle of things, and we're trying to figure out which way it is that we should go. And here's one of the things that I've learned. I've learned that there is no wrong path. Can you imagine that? There is no wrong path. There is no wrong path. You didn't mess up. You didn't take a wrong turn. Sometimes the paths get you to where you're going sooner. But regardless of which path you take, you get there. Can you imagine that you can go east to get west? No. We want to take the most expeditious route. We want to do the thing that is easiest for us. But wonder if you learned that no matter where you go, God. Does that sound like contradictory? Can you imagine that you are right where you're supposed to be to get where you need to go? Right now? You're like, Sandra, how is this a spiritual principle? Right? Maybe it's our resistance to life that is the issue with life. So what you resist persists. Maybe it's our resistance. Maybe it's because we think we know. That's the problem. It's in our knowing. You ever just think, let me just surrender to God? And if I surrender, if I fall to the ground, if I just let go, then I'll see that I'm right where I'm supposed to be. It's your resistance that's the problem. I heard Bio say, he says, somebody apologized to him, and he said, no. He says, we got to mix things up. We got to get messy. We got to let things break open in order for them to come together again. Yeah, we see it in politics. Yeah, right? We see it in all kinds of situations that life is messy. Birth is messy. Death is messy. Everything is messy. But unless we go through it, we cannot grow through it. Sometimes you got to just surrender to the process and say, I trust. I don't understand. I don't know, but I trust. We've got to be in the messy middle and let it happen. I can see my seeds. No, don't cover me. No, don't put all that mud and water on me. I could see them being in their resistance, but without that, they don't bust open. There's no transformation. We've got to sometimes just recognize that it is this very resistance that's the problem. Oh my goodness. And when I think about even the teachings of Jesus, the stories of Jesus, Jesus was like, there was, during that time, the printing press hadn't been developed. As a matter of fact, he wasn't sitting up there saying, hey, write this down. Can you make notes on this? There was none of that. Because there was this knowing that you've got to go through some stuff to grow through some stuff. So it's been my practice that when messiness comes, let me open wide. Let me not resist it. Let me stand in this and say, I trust. I trust. All will be well. How do I know this? Because I know you've been through some stuff. It's been messy for all of us. We'll go through some stuff and we'll let it transform us. I don't know about y'all. Woo! But this messy middle, it's good. It's good. I feel, it's kind of like, I could imagine it's like how a pig might feel when it finds a good patch of slop. Like, let me just hunker down in this, because on the other side, it is all good. All right, so let me just, so in this space, I give thanks. God, I thank you. I thank you that as these seeds plant in the ground, however they land on us, I know that it is not my responsibility to necessarily water them. I may not be the one that harvests them, but for this seed, I bless it. God, grow us, show us all that we must do. I give thanks as you guys give up your resistance and just let life be. And so it is. Amen.
Wow, what a message. Thank you. Here's another perfect song. But I'm sure you never heard this because I wrote it. I'm sure not another one of your favorite songwriters. It's a little messy. But it's about gratitude. Well, I've been in the dark, and I've been torn apart, and I've seen troubles most people avoid. But on the coin's other side, there's a heart gratified and a feeling of unbounded joy. Because a heart that's been broken has known devotion, and a let go don't have to be so bad. Well, I've stumbled, I've grown, still my life's all my own, and it's the best life I've ever had. Please forgive me if I don't sympathize when you let little setbacks make your heart all paralyzed. Right? We all weave a web between the flow and the ebb, and we attract to our circle those things that can teach us to love in ways we haven't yet thought of. We push away or pull in what that brings. Because a heart that's been broken has known devotion, and a let go don't have to be so bad. Well, I've paid my dues, and I don't have much left to lose, and it's the best life I've ever had. Yes, it's the best life I've ever had. That's right.
Thank you, Jeannie. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Roy. We had a little bit of mixture this morning, didn't we, in the music? That was absolutely fun. Beautiful. Thank you. We're going to have the ushers come forward at this time. Have you heard the message this morning of oneness? That everything is working together for our good. Everything is working together for us to awaken to the truth of oneness, to awaken to the truth of unity and of our own divinity. You know, if oneness is true, and it is, then as we freely receive, we freely give, and as we freely give, we freely receive. There is no separation between giving and receiving. One is in the other. And so at this time, we have this opportunity to just have this practice together, this spiritual practice, to just discover that in greater and greater ways in our life. And so just affirm together with me our offering affirmation. The divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I and all that we receive. Freely I give, and freely I receive.
I am blessed. I am blessed every day of my life. I am blessed when I wake up in the morning or lay my head to rest. I am blessed. I am blessed. I am blessed. I am blessed every day of my life.
let's just affirm that this morning, that we are blessed. So we just bless these offerings. We bless each one here this morning in all the unique ways that you've come forward to give your attention, to give your time, to give your love, to give your gifts this morning. We are indeed grateful. And we go forward in that knowing that our very nature is one of well-being, that as we freely receive, we freely give, and as we freely give, we freely receive. It is so, for it is oneness. In the name and through the power of the living Christ we pray. Amen.
You have any kids?
So we just have a few announcements here this morning. First is, as you know already this morning, Mary Sherman is our prayer chaplain, and she would just be glad to meet with you after service today. If you have any prayer requests, she'll just be together with you and firm the truth of your being and firm the truth of the being of the one that we're praying for this morning. And on May 24th, just thank you to Verena again. She has set it up for us to have this Zen meditative experience led by the Cloudwater Zendo from Cleveland at 7 p.m. to 8:30 on May 24th. So be sure to put that on your schedule if that is calling to you. And then again this last Thursday night, we had a wonderful time together with Tanya Kinlow. Did we not? Yes, we did. Yeah, go ahead. And, how about Chef Craig? I mean, if you miss Chef Craig, that by itself is worth coming for. I mean, this guy, he really can bring it forward. So, yeah, put that on your list from 6:30 to 7. We're just going to celebrate eating together with Chef Craig, and then Tanya will, again, from 7 to about 7:45, she just continues to speak on her book, The Universal Laws of Awakening. So be sure to put that on your schedule if that's calling you. And then join us on June 2nd for our first Friday of the month from 6:30 to 8:30 for an ice cream Sunday gathering at Warrensville Heights Municipal Park next door to the Warrensville Community Center. Ice cream will be provided, and you're invited to bring a Sunday topping of your choice to share in your favorite outdoor game. We'll have a good time together. And so if you have any questions on that, just see Cheryl. I saw Cheryl back over here. She's right over there. And then on Tuesday, June 4th, again, we will have another special session of that Joe Dispenza meditation, and David Kramer will lead that. If you have any questions about that, it's on June 4th from 6:30 to 8:30. And at this time, I would just love to call forward my dear friend Marjorie, because she has something special to say. Come on, Marjorie.
Messy. It's a messy day. I had to say that because it was one of them days, but it was a beautiful service. But first and foremost, I'm Marjorie Scott, and on behalf of Scott's Balloons, you see this balloon that says thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all the help on the Zoom, your donations here in the sanctuary, your donations. We had 9 mothers that got beautiful Mother's Day baskets. I just want to say thank you. Let's give it up for all that participated, your support, and this balloon will be out there to say to all of you, thank you, and remember, let's clean up that mess.
And thank you, Marjorie. So at this time, let's just sing the children in.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Okay, we had a fun morning. We played some games, we did some music instruments, and we learned the Lord's Prayer a little bit today. And then we played some affirmation games, and it was a great morning. And now the kids just have a brief message for you.
I am blessed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rita. Thank you, Marita. So let's just all stand and sing together our peace song and just experience that oneness together. So now let's affirm what we know is true. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you so much for being here this morning. It feels so good to have the house full.